Hallelujah, holla back. It is September 27th, 2024, Friday, 3:06 p.m. And this is for week 39. I actually just completely missed week 38, so we're going to be doing a bit of a recap for all of that. Actually, a lot of stuff happened. But I want to make this very quick because technically I was supposed to do this set at 3, so if I could make this like 15 minutes or so, I can kind of catch back up and not get off track. I'm not too worried about that though, because I think I might end up staying up today. Which I guess I'll get into in a minute here. So, I guess we'll start with the fact that I started today at negative 26, and plus 101 in 5 minutes. So, just in general, that's a little bit behind. Let's say that I have, counting today, right? Today's Friday, then you have Saturday, then you have Sunday, and I believe I have Monday as well, right? And we're not gonna, if we end up actually leaving, we're not gonna end up adding another 20. So, I have 4 days to do, what is that? 26, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Yeah, at least. So how do you divide that? How does that? It's like 8, I think it's like 8 sets for 3 of those days. And then, something like that. Or, it's like 6 all of those days, maybe 8 like once or something like that, is how it maths out. But, yes, I just have to have some very heavy days. I think this might be the actual most extreme deficit ever. It definitely is in my most recent memory, that's for sure. What's that? Let me see. It's kind of hard to see out here, bro. I can't even lie. So I think I'm gonna start from the beginning, actually, instead of the kind of like working my way back, because I want to talk about yesterday, I guess, but I'm gonna just focus on staying in chronological order so I don't get confused. But so right after I did this 2 weeks ago, I stayed up that night, and I was just contemplating a lot of different shit. And for whatever reason, I don't really remember exactly what it was. I just know that I had been thinking about it, and I ended up looking at ticket prices, and then I seen that it basically was the best time to buy, and I kept eyeing the 2nd of October. I don't know why. So it's a Wednesday. Yeah, it's a Wednesday. So I might have Tuesday as well to add another day in there. But Wednesday, which it's like, let's say it's Wednesday. I don't know why, but that was just the day that was in my head. When I looked it up, I think those Wednesdays are the cheapest days to fly, basically. I could have done it on the 7th or the 16th or some shit like that. And it would have been pretty much the same price, but I was just eyeing the 2nd. And at the time when I was thinking about it, I was just very upset. Like, I kept thinking about different familial conflicts that I've been having, and it's like it just doesn't make sense to me. And it's like there's just so much bullshit that I couldn't stand being there for the holidays. But now, like, in hindsight, I'm like, well, and I feel like the more responsible thing to do would be to whatever. But basically, it's like this is the first opportunity, so I just said fuck it. You know what I mean? And it also is before my hearings and all that. But it's whatever. Basically, I was just like excited to leave, and I just bought the ticket. I'm like, all right. I had a little bit of a spiritual experience too. Like I was trying to, I basically opened up the communications. I was like listening for, some type of communication from God essentially, and I was, I felt like I was being. Basically, it came down to like what really kind of pushed me over the edge was if you don't do it now, you're never gonna do it. And I kind of interpreted that in two ways. Actually, when I did it, I was like, okay, well, maybe that's because I won't need to, right? So it's like I just purchased a ticket, but guess what? The way that you're gonna feel in the next couple of days, you're not gonna want to leave. So it's almost like one of those genie wishes, where it's not what you think it is. It's not a lie what I said, but it's not what you think it is either. So it felt like that. It felt like I was like saying something kind of cryptic, but he wanted me to buy a ticket. So my computer, it was like my computer was like the burning bush or some shit. It was like making noises at me, and I was basically interpreting it. I know that might sound crazy, but can you tell I was high? Anyway, so yeah, it was $64 the ticket. So, I mean, I might have to pay for like luggage or whatever. I'm like, bro, I can get a refund. It's $64. I don't care. Like, it to me, I was like, I just in that moment with all the thinking that I had done, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy this because I'm either gonna need it. There's something about I just need. You know what I mean? Like, I'm either gonna need it in terms of like something's gonna happen before then, and I'm not gonna regret purchasing it. You know what I mean? So. That's kind of what happened there. And then, over the next, now, I think this is probably the main reason why this was super good for me to do, or at the very least, this is a good reason for me to do what I did, is of the fact that I felt like I had a fire under my ass. So I started to kind of hammer out some real big days where I was knocking out a lot of items on my to-do list that had been sitting there for so long for no real reason. They're just kind of quick things I could have done. And I had a few ideas of stuff that I could do to really like move the ball forward. Thank you for the shade. How long are you going to be there for? Because I would like that for the rest of my walk. One of those things being getting a SC2 Replay Stats subscription to use their training center. Right? So, that. And then, one of the things, so I put it in order in the way that I did it, at least I think I did. I didn't put the days by and all that. But, oh, by the way, I think I mentioned my CB streams. And I mentioned how, I don't know how many I know when I started back from, I had the account from a long time ago. And I had like 63 followers on there. And now I'm at like 215. And I think it's been maybe like 2 to 3 weeks. So that's kind of insane to me. And then also, by the way, just like sidebar, my Twitch, hasn't really been a lot lately. I think a lot of it happened when I was doing Stormgate, maybe. But basically, I got like 20-something followers, which is like the majority of the followers I have in the last month, apparently. So let's say I have 35 followers. 21 of those were got in the last month, which I just like, wow. One, if that pace continued, and we're kind of cooking, right? And then also, if it kind of exponentially increased, then we're really cooking. So, yeah, that's a lot. I said I gained like over 100 plus followers, and I gained like 80 tokens, which is something like $4 or something like that. Not a lot of money, but it's still fucking money. Like, it's actually money, which is crazy to me. And I mentioned it that I did a Meet Me stream where I got something on there too, which was like, wow, this is insane. And just another thing about this is that, you know, I like to listen to tarot readers or whatever, and I was actually thinking about this today, how uh, just generally useful it is for me, because it's like I don't even question it at this point. I usually, you know, there's like two main ones that I really kind of like frequent. I like to listen to like, you know, if their video kind of like pops up at the right time, I'll watch it with the, you know, with the right whatchamacallit. And a lot of times it's like, okay, this is pretty much spot on exactly what it is, and you know what I mean? And then I'll just kind of use the advice expecting things to kind of go a certain way, and they do. I be catching shit before it happens. So it's like a weird, it's like oddly accurate and useful, and yeah, it's like really strange how, because it's actually gotten me through shit. At least that's how I perceive it. Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm gonna orient myself in this way, and I'm gonna expect certain kind of behaviors and stuff like that. It's kind of trippy because it's like, I don't know if it's you know, it's always like an egg or a chicken thing. Like, am I manifesting things because I'm, like, you know, believing it and expecting, you know what I mean? Or is it just, you know, my belief of us just, you know, kind of all being one and all kind of having similar experiences, if not the same experience, is you know, it kind of is connected to that, and all of that stuff has just been strengthening. So yeah, SC2 replay stats. I made a bunch of YouTube playlists. I think I mentioned that I wanted to make like music one and a you know, like one for different games, like, which I did. It was actually a lot easier than I thought. And I got I got the keyword extension I paid for, so I had to pay an annual thing of $72. And I made an OBS weight screen with just a rotating pylon GIF and a un momento. I was gonna try to like put some highlights on there or whatever, but I was like, I just like this, so I'm just gonna go with this instead. The other thing is way more effort, and it's just a weight screen. So, and then I did my YouTube queue. I think it like pretty much runs out today. I had like 2 videos probably up until 2 days ago or something like that. But yeah, there's more stuff like in the queue. I just need to like actually put the info in there. But I purchased the Mansa class. I made my Amazon purchase, which I've been planning to make a lump purchase for Amazon for quite a while. It's like, you know, it's not an impulse buy. It's like, I need all of these things. You know what I mean? All of these things are going to make my life so much better. And you know, I prepared it for so long, so I didn't feel bad. I was like, nope, there's nothing on. I took off a few things. I took off, like, I had some velour, like a velour sweatsuit on, and maybe like a journal. And I also took the legal pads off because I just have this spiral notebook. I could use that. I have multiple of those, so I'm gonna quickly. It was about $500, and I bought a keyboard, a Bluetooth LED like gaming keyboard, which is bomb as fuck. The way that the buttons feel is exactly how you want them to feel. Now it wasn't like super expensive. You can't even really. I expected you to be able to change the LEDs to red or whatever color you want, but they don't have that option, which is kind of interesting too, because I was thinking like. How boring I was gonna make it by making everything red, but it's like, oh, I don't have that option, so at least this adds some color to things, and it's really tasty looking. You know what I mean? Looks like candy or something. But so I did that. The keyboard, the mouse. Yeah, they work very nice. I still haven't even really gotten used to it like that, but because I need to get used to using the side buttons on there. So let me see. And what else? Oh, bro. There's this um, well, I'll do it down the list, and then I'll come back to this other item. I got a briefcase. I got Sizer thingamajiggies. There's like 4 different weights. It's hella cheap, and it feels awesome. I need to be using that more. I'll probably do it with when I invert. I'll just like add that in. I got this ear cleaner. It's like a spray bottle where you could like spray into your ear, which is hella. I do a pretty. It turns out I didn't really have, at least unless it's really caked in there to where I can't get it out yet. My ear was fairly clean. You know what I mean? Like it seems like I've been doing a pretty good job of cleaning it. I take that pretty seriously. Well, hold on. Then I got a grooming kind of kit, like a male grooming kit with nail clippers and tweezers and little scissors. So now I'm nice and groomed up, like that. I got a nose hair trimmer, which is very nice as well. That just feels good, like for breathing purposes, honestly. Yeah, there's a lot of grooming stuff in here. Then derma roller, because that is I think the solution to at least a lot of male pattern baldness, but also will help my beard grow apparently. So I just want to try that out. I just believe in it. Because I have my own theories about how baldness happens, and then I just read some research on it, and it's like, this just makes sense to me. So I used that once. I haven't been incorporating it all just yet. But okay, this is taking a little longer than I expected. How do I want to do this part? Okay, and then I got a super fucking rechargeable battery thingamajiggy, which I haven't opened yet, but it's a hefty thing. Socks, haven't opened that either. Got a mask, didn't open that either. And I got some Trania Bluetooth headphones, which are fucking amazing, bro. The quality on these things are awesome. Battery life doesn't seem that impressive, actually. Because but also when the first day I used them, I was very, very drunk. So actually right now I'm missing one. I'm pretty sure it's in the room. It better be in the room. Because I was I was on the phone all day long. And by the end, my phone was dying. My headphones didn't want to, I was literally just such a mess. It was crazy. My headphones were dying. I'm losing them all over the place. My headphones keep getting unplugged. I'm having crazy ass conversations. But I'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, there's boxes all over my floor. And oh, by the way, I said there was I spent $500, but there's I bought 2 of a couple of items by mistake, so I'm hoping to get a refund for those, so kind of lower that. But yeah, I kind of like that the way that there's boxes all over my floor and shit, because it just feels with the whole webcam thingamajiggy, it just feels really nice. So yeah, there's really not an issue with my vibe at the crib right now, is the thing. I'm really excited about the potential of kind of just doing my routine. But again, I'll talk about that in a second. So I calculated my spending for the year so far. It was $3,700, right, which was kind of shocking to me, not gonna lie. I'm still thinking, whoa, how? But if I just spent $500, and then shit, the biggest items got to be probably my monthly, right? Which is if you make that 10, that's about $1,300. I don't really want to go through it right now, but I did calculate it. It's $3,700. I know where I spent every dollar this year. Man, it's crazy. I had to initiate arbitration. I had to, I made a purchase to do a what's the fucking thing that I purchased? The trade line. That's what I purchased. God damn promise, or I can never like find privacy over here anywhere recently. But there was a hurricane yesterday, so I think pretty much everybody's home, like not working today as well. But let me see. I initiated my GoDaddy refund. I don't know if they're actually going to grant it or not. No, I do. I just don't know if they are going to give me a hard time or not. Pretty much that's what I mean. Do I want to go that way or this way? I think I'll go this way. And then I canceled Free Scores and More after getting another report. And that's like one of those things that just was sitting there, and it really didn't need to take that long. And then this is where things go sideways, okay? The day before Friday, I was working on an app, and I was really kind of determined. I kept getting so close to getting what I wanted to get done. And it just I never got it done. And I ended up staying up way late. So it kind of threw everything off. So I had an eye appointment the next day. The plan was to just kind of like do my routine, maybe end the second stream a little early, and then just go to this eye appointment. It's like, cool, you get your glasses, you know what I mean? But like, that is not how that went, bro. I woke up at 9, pretty much on the dot, and I got right into the car, and I went right to the eye appointment. And I was fine. I'm having a conversation with my mom. I'm chilling. And then, I don't know exactly what happened. Now, mind you, I don't think I smoked. So that's one thing. That's the one thing that I kind of like thought about. I'm like, am I really just being irritable because I haven't smoked? Which is kind of like lame. After the fact, I realized that was the case. But yeah, like, maybe had I done my routine correctly, then my reaction wouldn't have been the way it was. I'm not saying that it wouldn't have, but I don't know for sure, but I'm saying, you know, my reaction, I felt really bad about what happened. So, stone cold sober, I wake up, this is the plan, I'm gonna go over there, and then I'm gonna conduct the rest of my business for the day. The idea being, get as much done as possible and keep my momentum going and ride straight into this potential San Francisco trip. But I got irritated at this eye appointment because we got there. Well, we went to the wrong place first, right? And then when we got there to the place, you know, we signed in or whatever, and then we go and we're looking at glasses. I pick out like 2 pairs of glasses, I guess, right? And I sit down, all right? And I don't know, I'm just sitting there. I'm just waiting around. And then what I'm seeing a lot of people being, it's just like they're real dismissive towards the people that are coming in, as if they're gonna be waiting for a while, right? And I wasn't digging that. I heard that you know, like it takes 2 weeks for them to send the prescription, and I'm already in my head thinking like, I'm gonna be in San Francisco. This woman's gonna want to mail this to me, meaning she's gonna know where I'm at, and I don't want that. So that was another issue. Then she was telling me how I was gonna have my eyes were gonna be dilated. I wasn't gonna be able to see like that. So I'm like, okay, I don't necessarily feel like being uncomfortable like that either. I'm getting irritated because of just like the vibe in the room. And I just woke up. I didn't do my routine, and I have a whole thing. So I'm like off. I'm just off. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna continue to sit here any longer. I've decided, and I'm going to leave. I'm going to I couldn't sit there any longer. So I said, fuck it. And I told my mother, hey, just let's go, because I'm not gonna sit here and wait to do this. Mind you, she took me to the wrong place first, right? Then after I picked out the 2 glasses, she came back and she was like, okay, here's let me go find more like cheaper ones, right? And I was like, I'll go get them in a second. I'm not gonna do, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get up right now. And then as I thought about it, I'm like, nah, friend, this is just, I'm out. There's too many things going weird, going sideways, and I did not feel it. And I'm getting upset thinking about it now, honestly. But so I said, fuck it, let's go. She didn't really want to leave like that, and I was like, bro, you have to allow me to leave. We're leaving right now, meaning we're gonna walk out now, and we're not gonna go back in. And then, I basically told her about herself, and I'm saying, I don't know why this is my reaction right away, but I basically said, like, take me to a gas station so I can drink. I don't even know why. I don't know why that was my reaction. I was very upset. And so I went and got Four Locos. I told her, take me to my aunt's house. You know what I mean? I don't want to go home. I'm not supposed to be drinking at the house. So I'm going to go to my aunt's house. I'm going to blow off the steam. And then I'll come back whenever she's, whenever it's convenient for her. She'll drop me off. I'll come back by tonight. And we'll just move on. Right? So, that's what happened. My phone is actually close to dead. So I don't want to, have my list open for too much. So yeah, I spent $11.02, and then I was very, very throwing up aggressively for the next day for a hot minute. I think I came to as I was dry heaving for I don't know how long I was dry heaving, but it felt like it was a long time because my throat was really sore. Things I was drinking, I could just tell that there was abrasions in there. But yeah, I was violently trying dry heaving for a hot minute. And then I needed to get some stuff my mom got me Gatorade, and I was drinking water and immediately throwing it up, which felt so much better than what I was doing for a hot minute because I just wasn't really aware. My body was just doing its thing. So I had fun for the little trip or whatever, but it became a blur. I was showing my aunt music, and then. We went to go pick up my cousin and my brother, and then she dropped me off back home, I think. I don't really remember that part as much. So, anyway, I was very, very sick, but there was a day where I had to, the Mensa class was happening, and I was able to pull it together enough to do the Mensa class and do the bare minimum for school as well, which, I've been kind of been procrastinating on a little bit more. Well, this week I did because of how hectic it got for no reason, or last couple of weeks. So then, what's crazy is I don't think I have both instances on here. Yeah, I don't think I wrote down. There's one more instance of me an outburst. So let me just try to go through this correctly. Okay. Yeah, there is a day in there that I didn't write down that I'm not sure when it was exactly now. Golly, when was that? I think it was Tuesday. Oh, okay, I remember now. So I was I did my recovery, my recovery day, and I was kind of getting back in the swing of things. So I did a chill day where I did a 3-hour stream and something like that. And it got a little bit squirrely there. But afterward, I lit an incense, as is customary, there was a complaint made, and it was and the tone of the complaint was just you're not gonna talk to me this way, bro. We're not doing this. You know what I mean? Man's trying to be ominous and fucking intimidating. It's just that clear. You know what I mean? And it's about nothing. You're complaining about incense, and it's and this is exactly the type of shit that I get upset about. It's because bro, I've been doing this for fucking weeks, man. You just making shit up, and then also acting as if that you told me not to do it. You never told me not to do it. You never told me not to do it. So, and this is kind of going along the lines of the whole like familial bullshit that is so confusing, to where essentially I've like chosen. It's not. And it's not even like it doesn't really matter if it's true or not. It is what it is. But basically, I'm under the impression that there's no way that I am this man's kid. There's just no way. There's no way. If you look at the entirety of our relationship, me not being his explains so much, right? It explains a whole hell of a lot. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. And nobody's owning up to it. Nobody's actually making that clear. But it's like, bro, it is clear. the way that the special treatment / abuse that I've gotten specifically, and then me knowing like, oh, like eventually it became clear like, oh, this person like really prefers my younger brother, and like and then if you look at like the dynamics of me and my younger brother's relationship, he's like the golden child or whatever. But it's just like I've been very like cast out. You know what I mean? I just feel like at some point he realized something, and I don't. It's not like it's like a natural reaction to behave that way. But the point is, it's the opposite of if I was his blood son, it just wouldn't be treated. And even if I am his, just the fact that I feel that way, to me, it says everything that needs to be said. I don't really want to. To me, that's just what it is. I mean, and that's the assumption I'm living under now. And I feel doubly pissed off because nobody's trying to tell me. And I also feel now I'm getting more upset about like the fact that nobody's helping me. Nobody helped me. You know what I mean? Like not my mom's side of the family. Nobody helped me. So while I'm getting, I mean, it's not really their business, but like while I'm dealing with this like this creature who is on the sly trying to bend things like out of, you know what I mean? Just trying to make it to where I'm always getting the short end of the stick and feeling a bitterness towards me and being harder on me and all of this shit, and me not knowing why, right? Just being like, I just know you don't love me because of how this whole thing goes. And then I'm the only one. I'm the only one that has that. To this day, my dad stopped paying my phone bill when I was mad young. I'm the only one that ever got kicked out for doing things that all of us do. And that's the same, like right now, my brother, right? He lights incense all the time. So yeah, it's just a really disgusting, nasty feeling to you know what I mean? And I don't really know how deep it goes or whatever, but anyway, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of, so yeah, that's kind of part of the reason why I wanted to leave, but so that led to another outburst, basically. I was like basically ready to like, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, fight. It's like, man, it just gets more and more and more and more obvious, and literally nobody's telling me. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm figuring it out because of how blatantly obvious it is. Now that I've connected the dots, you know what I mean? Yeah, but then even that, it's like, bro, don't do that. You know what I mean? Don't just make my life harder because you're trying to do, because you feel like slighted or whatever like that. Yeah, so there's been a lot of that going on. So I went and drank. I just went to the store this time. I needed to talk to myself, and I started drinking, and then I just rode that into another like binge. I ordered DoorDash, and I got so I spent like 40. What did I spend? I did the math. I didn't write it down here. It's like 45 or something like that. But yeah. And that led to another like recovery day where I was like very down and out. And I'm talking about, I think there's a combination of like just being depressed, but also not feeling good because of the alcohol, right? And then obviously this is the kind of stuff that's on my mind. To me, I'm just like kind of under attack all at once because there's, and then yeah, like I said, there's a hurricane and shit. So I was like uber whatchamacallit, depressed and upset and everything like that. I ended up missing a Zoom meeting for arbitration. It was just a test, and luckily for me, because of the hurricane, it was kind of like a shot in the dark. They didn't really expect us to be able to do it. So yeah, it was a gloom and doomy kind of day, and that was pretty much yesterday. And I just kind of took it easy. I did like another Stormgate stream after watching this guy on YouTube, and I've been having a lot of frustration with Stormgate. Like they just recently did a patch, right? I was already kind of over it before. Like I was like, okay, I'll just wait for the patch. The patch comes out. And it's like, oh, kind of exciting. I like everything they did, and I like the visual changes. And what else? I like the visual changes. At least at first glance, I like the visual changes. And then, actually playing it, it was just bad right away. But that's how this game tends to be. Like, it's very cutthroat and kind of rough. So, I tried to work through that. And I kind of was working through that. And then today I did another one. And I think I played 2 games or something like that. I'm like, bro, I can't even play this game. Like, I can't control my units. You know what I mean? I think the visual update made it worse. Made the optimizations worse. So I don't think that should be happening. Yeah. So what else? That's just a little bit more frustration for me. And actually, this kind of goes to the whole eye appointment thing. And I was thinking about it. I need to take a break from smoking in general because I feel like my tolerance built up and it's kind of evolved, and now it's like now I'm drinking, so I just need to take a break again. But yeah, I've been having like crazy anxiety, and after a conversation with Faith, basically, it turned into like I just know in my head. I don't know exactly what did it, but I know in my head that I should have gratefulness instead of entitlement. I had some moments where I was like, I want to get frustrated, and I can feel things getting fucked up. You know what I mean? Before they even get fucked up, I know they're gonna be fucked up. I try to have a phone conversation with the arbitration people, right, about the Zoom call, and I'm just having every technical difficulty possible, right? I feel like shit. I know it's not gonna go well already. The thing I want to do is disappear. I know that nothing good is gonna, like the vibe is off. So, I already did all the sleeping. I can't do more sleeping. I have shit I have to do, so I just have to like suffer through this. And I got to the point, like I was laying there at nighttime by myself, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, it just makes no sense for me to have fear at all. Like basically, I have a ridiculous amount of plot armor, if you will, and based on my whole understanding, it doesn't make sense. And I'm talking about a different type of fear. I'm talking about the kind of confidence where it's like the storyline has to, accommodate a certain amount of comfort. It just has to. I'm getting older, and there's like a different requirement for me to be in any given situation, and I just don't believe that the universe and or God would allow me to go through something just kind of unbearable, you know what I mean? So it was like the rationale in my head. I don't know if I'm doing a great job of explaining it, but I know what I mean. It's pretty much an infallible fucking courage or confidence, because it just doesn't, like I've done the calculation. It doesn't make sense to be afraid. It doesn't make sense. And I'm just tired of it. So, yeah, gratefulness instead of entitlement. I'm very fortunate. Being in this position is a very fortunate thing. confidence, and things will go well. So that's about it. So the arbitration update, I have to do like a brief. I have to prepare a brief. I'm gonna get a little extension. I'm gonna send an email today, get an extension. Then I have to prepare this brief, and I have to prepare my response to the Discover dispositive motion, and then from there, other than that, like the priority really is to just prepare myself for the trip. In the event that I go, because it is up in the air and I'm playing it by ear essentially, but you know, and honestly, I'm excited about the potential for uninterrupted, continued, you know, staying with this program, this new routine. I may try to reschedule the plane ticket. I might. I mean, it's really not that expensive to just take an L on it either. It actually, I think if you add up like the booze that I recently bought, and it's definitely the DoorDash. It's about the cost of an expensive DoorDash. What I'm trying to say. So I could just kind of fall off. I was gonna try to call the DMV today, but because of the hurricane, they're not open. So I'm probably gonna wait to do all of that stuff on Monday. I'm just gonna try to do as many sets as possible today. I think I might try to break night, even though it looks like I might have days. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but yeah, I'm pretty much playing it by ear. I know I'm not gonna purchase any more weed yet, and maybe try to reschedule. And yeah, I'm just focused. My primary concern is arbitration. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm gonna go super hard, and just see where that gets me. You know, like I'm kind of hoping that, you know, stuff gets resolved before I need to make a decision. Than that. And then I'm also like maybe doing very well on the CB and SC stream. So that like everything's just up, you know. That's kind of what I think may happen based off of everything. But I just want to make sure that I keep my options open, prepared to go. And also, I'm really just tired of feeling sick and being, you know, down. So that's about it. It took a little longer than I thought it would, but TTYL.